For 3 months, a boy from Juba spent his days and nights inside these walls, held without a lawyer, without access to counsel, and without a clear path to court. Today he is out, but he did not walk free alone. At the Federation of Female Lawyers of South Sudan, the group that stepped in when the system failed a juvenile, their executive director, Susan Pony, led the legal rescue that ended 3 months of detention for this juvenile and others.
When there was actually visits, we discovered that some of them have not actually gone to court. They are on remand for long. So we now follow up their cases. During the documentation and profiling of those cases, we discover some of them, they are actually there because of small fine, like 3,000 SSP, which have actually made them to stay like for 5 months, for 1 year. We came across one which stayed there for 5 years because they are demanding for 1 million, which is almost $200 by then. And we will actually pick them because of most of them are on remand. And the second reason is because you see their vulnerability. And the third reason is on their medical status. Some of them are really sick, they are down, and they cannot. By staying there, you know, the condition of the prison is not favorable for them.
According to the Federation, the boy, whom we will call Daniel to protect his identity, was arrested after a street incident and then kept on remand at Juba Central Prison. For 3 months, he waited for representation.
I was scared. I didn't have a lawyer. I only hoped my parents would come. Sometimes they did, sometimes they could not. I didn't understand why I had to stay there so long.
3 months in detention without legal counsel is not just a lapse, it's a breach of juvenile justice principles. But Daniel was not the only child affected. The Federation's action led to the release of multiple juveniles held under similar circumstances.
Because
my son was taken once. They put him with the adults. He came home a different child. We did not know where to turn. When we heard what the Federation did for Daniel, it gave us hope. They helped not only one boy, they helped our families.
The family is supposed to take care about their children's education, including the government. Educating a child shouldn't be by name. It should be something practical, in accordance with the law. The law enforcement agency needs to go to the house of the suspect to get the first-hand information, whether the child is a criminal or not, so that the law can take its course.
Here, concerning the legal aid and representation for indigent and vulnerable clients, the South Sudan Bar Association plays a vital role in supporting legal aid and representation for indigent and vulnerable clients through several initiatives and actions. One, I will talk of provision of legal aid services. In fact, I would like the public to know that the South Sudan Bar Association, we have a department known as Legal Aid Department. And that department is concerned with the legal aid services. And here, to give you details, the South Sudan Bar Association actively collaborate with various non-governmental organizations and international agencies to provide legal aid services to those who cannot afford legal representation. And these include establishing legal aid clinics and coordinating pro bono services.
After release, Daniel underwent an assessment and was connected to reintegration services. His case highlights two realities: how vulnerable children can be failed by the system and how civil society can make critical interventions.
We encounter a lot of challenges. Most challenges is related to their file. Some of their files are actually missing. They are not there. We cannot trace out. And because they are juvenile, most of them, they don't know their investigators. And because they are overstaying in prison, it's like their documents are not there. It's very difficult to find. They don't know the number of the files. They don't know number of cases. Those things are there. And of course, some of them, their complainants just disappear in the process.
For Daniel, 3 months behind bars could have been much longer without legal action. For the community, his release is a reminder laws exist to protect children, but they need people and institutions willing and able to enforce them. This story is reported with a grant from Journalists for Human Rights under the Tackling Misinformation Project funded by the Peace and Stabilization Program of the Government of Canada. Victor Elias.